What is up, everyone? The boys are back in town. Yes, the gang is all together once again. Joining me is Mr. Jake Podger, Mr. Nobody Cooler Than Sean Kula. Haven't seen him for a while. And also our good friend, the young gun, Brett McDurphy from Go Bills Podcast. By the way, Sean's on the Red, White, and Bills show. So we're streaming to all channels tonight. Big wildcard weekend. The Bills take on the Dolphins. We said a few weeks ago we thought we might see these Dolphins again, and here we go. They are coming to town. And interesting fact, I'm gonna throw. I hit Jake with this the other day. I'm gonna throw it to you real quick, Brett. Little trivia. This game coming up. How many times overall will the Bills have met the Dolphins in the playoffs? Completely in the history of the Bills Dolphins. How many times have we seen these Dolphins in the playoffs? Counting this upcoming week.
I'm going to guess 2.
Sean?
Well, in my lifetime, from what I remember, it's only been 1, but I'm going to guess 5.
Dude, you hit it right on the head. This will be our 5th
Impressive.
matchup with the Dolphins. Yes. We had, we had 3 or 4 in the 90s.
It was 4, I want to say, right?
Yeah, it was 4. We had 3
Yeah.
Kelly Marino matchups, which Kelly won all 3. And then we had a Doug Flutie one where we lost in the wild card game.
Yeah.
And now here we are back for the 5th time. And it's good to see you guys. Let me go around the horn. Sean, it's been a while since we've seen you. What you got going on? Tell the folks how to get to your channel. By the way, most people know all these guys on our channel. If you haven't subscribed, please get over to these other channels. And if you're new to us, please hit that and hit that subscribe button for us. But Sean, what you been up to, man?
Well, Mike, I want to say thanks for the great intro again. And, I love coming out with my family here with Jake, Mike, and Brett from Go Bills. If you haven't subscribed to all 3 of our channels, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, nobody's doing it like us out there in the community. So definitely subscribe and like the video and communicate with us in the chat because we love interaction. But yesterday we did a Royal Rumble with Miss Finns. It was about a 4-hour stream. I know Mike tuned in near the end, but that was absolutely incredible. It was very fun. They had a nice panel with Bills and Dolphins fans going at it. Check out Miss Finns. She's almost to 800 subscribers, and she does a good job. So definitely go check that video out. It was very fun, very fun. Mike even said that sounded like a blast. You guys did such a great job. So don't forget to check that out. And then, I'm just trying to make it, dude. It feels like I've been so busy, but I can't make excuses because the content still has to come out. But I'm happy to do the pregame show with you guys, and I'm going to be assuming we're going to do an awesome post-game celebration coming up on Monday or Sunday. So
hell yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to finish the year. Hopefully we're going to do the rest of the shows with the 4 of us. Cause
that'd be a dream. I love that.
Nobody better than the 4 of us getting together. This is great. I feel all we need is some good buffalo wings right now, some pizza. And we'd be having,
I'm going to treat you guys when you're all going to come up here. Mike's coming up in the spring, boys.
Coming up in spring.
Brett, I don't know what flights are looking like from Florida. I know the, what was the FAA or something, the flights were all canceled over the last day or whatever, right? Because something happened. But anyways, look into it. I'll treat you guys to some barbell. I already owe Mike for our little bet on James Cook and Devin Singletary, so might as well have you guys join too. Be great.
It's not over yet. Playoffs count.
No, not on our bet. Not on our bet.
Yeah, it was regular season, unfortunately.
You have to get 500 more yards though.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know what it is. Last year he tried to get me saying Moss was the better back. This year it was James Cook was going to be the better back, have more yards, and Motor just stands the test of time, man. Just did it again. Brett, tell everyone what you've been up to, buddy. It's been a while since we've seen you. I know you got a lot, man. You can be reached all over the place. Talk to everyone what you've been up to and where they can find you.
Well, I haven't been on the streaming world a lot lately. I've been a little busy with some wedding planning, getting everything all set for that. So I've been a little busy with that, but trying to get back into the streaming. I know it was a tough week with the Cincinnati week, so I took a little bit of a break, tried to focus on family, which was very important to me. But yeah, I'm starting to come back, and we're live on 5 different platforms right now for social media. And then we also have the website that we're doing as well. And it's so great to be back with you guys again for another edition of our foursome group. I'm so glad to be with you guys again. And I know the playoffs are around the corner right now. We're starting it and looking forward to hopefully every single time that the Bills play all the way up to the Super Bowl. And then our show that we're going to hopefully do at the Super Bowl parade for the Bills. Can't wait for that.
Awesome.
And, jumping through some tables. 24-hour straight stream. We're going to love that.
I'm in for that. I really am. If we win the Super Bowl, we're doing 24 hours straight.
Let's do it.
Got to do it.
Love it.
Let's do it.
I will say, Brett, nobody other than Josh Allen is the only one who wears that red 17 jersey better than you. I mean, you look fantastic in it, man. I'm telling you. I know the fiance's there in the room with you, isn't she?
She is, yes.
She probably loves her.
Yeah.
She has to love that jersey on you. It's a good look, man.
Nah, she doesn't love the jersey on me. She wants me to wear like a Tom Brady jersey.
I was gonna say she's a Bucs fan still, right? She's not totally converted.
She's fully converted. She is, and she does have her official Bills jersey. I got her a Bills jersey, and it's a DeMar Hamlin jersey, but it's custom made with her my last name on it. So it was a great addition that I got her for. I believe it's for Christmas last year. So I said, "You're officially into the family," but yeah. She's like, okay, I'll wear it every single week. And she loves that thing. She has the Bills leggings now. And she's just rocking and rolling with all this Bills gear. And she is super excited for the Bills game. And we're talking about upcoming dates for when we're coming to Buffalo. So I was going to give you guys a little sneak peek into when we're coming to Buffalo.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Labor Day weekend, we'll be in Buffalo. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be in the week before. I'm going to have my bachelor trip up there. In Montreal, or I'm going to go to Toronto for my bachelor trip. She's going to go to Nashville. She's flying back for that. So I'm looking forward to all of that. So I had a major announcement for you guys. I wanted to invite you guys. If you have the opportunity to hang out, let's do it. And when I'm up there.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Brett, I'm in. Count me in, man. Seriously.
Let's do it,
man. Let me know as it gets closer.
I will do that, man.
Remind me, because I was looking to. So when is that? What month is that again?
Right? I'm flying up for Labor Day. I'm going to do like August and I think it's August 24th. I'm flying up and then I'll be back on the 4th of September.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, September.
Yeah, Labor Day. So okay.
Labor Day.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's a long bachelor trip, but I want to see some family. Got to hang out with my A crew and my B crew, we call them. So my dad's side has two crews, and they know who they are, which one's the A crew and the B crew. But we're gonna hang out with them first, and then we're gonna do a bachelor trip over to Toronto, get a nice Airbnb over there, and hang out and have a fun time.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah, that is so cool. By the way, you are the only one that has a fiance or wife who actually watches our shows. I mean,
she does every single time. She's watching it right
Sean,
now.
Myself, Jake, our wives want nothing to do with the show. I don't know. I'm speaking for you, Sean. Maybe I'm wrong, but Jake and our wives like, I don't want to watch that thing.
Sometimes she's giving me pointers in the background.
She's more of like when I was first starting, she would just watch to give me that one view.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if she watches anymore. She doesn't like comment or anything, but I know she,
I think I saw that one because she was like, sit up straight. I was telling you, sit up straight, move to the right, move to the left. She was getting you all positioned properly on that camera.
Yeah. She's definitely not watching right now, though. She's at the gym, so.
All right.
Wow, good for her. 10:22 p.m. She's at the gym.
She's not happy about it. She wanted to go a lot earlier, but I'm a bad person, so. I got stuck working a little bit later than I expected. I was on a job, and then the guy that my client was like, "Oh, can you add this in there, and I'll pay you more?" So I'm like, "Okay, of course." And then I told her it was going to be like 2.5 hours, and it was like over 3 hours. And then when I got home, then I had a shower and everything, and then it just a little bit too late for her. But I said, "You got to go train anyway. You got your goals. It doesn't matter how late it is. You got to go." she doesn't like to go late, but I try to motivate her to.
Hey, good for her for that, though. I mean, that's great, man. Love
it. Hopefully at the gym she has us up on the phone. She can put it on her phone and listen. And
we'll see.
So,
hopefully she's listening.
Hello, Sean's wife. Hello.
I love it.
All right, well, let's get into the show. I mean, it's great to have the guys back. So let's start talking about some big news. And I'm going to throw this to Sean because, and hopefully, Sean, you know the news I'm talking about that came out of the Bills headquarters today. You were the first to break this information a little over a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. You brought this to our attention that it could be a thing. I still don't believe it. I have my reasons why. But let me throw it to you. Give everyone the breaking news that came out today.
Well, Micah Hyde and Jamison Crowder are off IR and back at practice. Micah Hyde did say he's 100% healed, but it's not up to him if he plays. It's the doctors. He said, I'm ready to go. So as soon as they give me the go, I'm ready to go out there. I'm anticipating that he, at the most, would be the AFC Championship, but I can also see him come back for the next round because, like you said, he's fully healed. It's just more of like, what do the doctors think? And if he's practicing, I like to assume that they anticipate him playing, because if he wasn't going to be okay to play, they wouldn't have activated him back. They would just put him back in IR and shut him down for the year. But it makes me think that he'll be playing next week. He's for sure not going to play this week. But in the event of a win, which we all think is going to happen, I could see him probably playing next week in the divisional round, which would be insane. Like Trey White, Poyer, and Hyde all back on the same field together. I mean, that just would after losing Von Miller, that would just be the most uplifting thing we could have. And we also have Damar Hamlin came home. He discharged from the hospital, and I don't know if he's going to be on the field or not. I don't know, like as far as because I know it gets us going all the time too. When the doctor said when Hines scored that touchdown, he set off every alarm in the hospital with all his heart levels going up. So I don't know if being on the sideline is the best idea or if he's able to, but I think he'll be there possibly. So I think that would just be enough juice for the guys to go out and be like, he's here with us today, the home playoff game, and it just a lot of good things happening for Bills Mafia. So I'm excited. If Micah Hyde can come back for next round, granted a win, that would just be huge, especially going against the Bengals.
They also brought designated Jamison Crowder for a return as well.
Yep.
So that could be a boost. Now, the Micah Hyde thing, I'll believe it when I see it. I want it to happen, but it might be unprecedented because I talked about this on one of our other shows. He had this surgery where they take out the bad disc and they fuse the two vertebrae together. And everything I read, 6 to 9 months. So maybe things have changed. And it's like, how do you really know that is healed? And you're playing football. I mean, maybe for a normal person like you or I, but when what's the doctor ask him to do? I want you to run into that wall real quick and let's see how the neck holds up. But man, that's great news. If he can come back, that's just a huge lift, and we'll see. And Crowder could be back as well. But you know what? Let me throw it to Mr. McDurphy over here, Brett. Now, there's some news coming out today on the Dolphins side of things as well, right? And I'll let you talk about it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the Dolphins have rolled out Tua Tagovailoa for the game against the Buffalo Bills, and this is his third concussion of the season that has been noted. I know that many people are going to say it's only 2, but I strongly believe it's the third concussion of the year. And there has been some speculation as well. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but I know he went to a neurologist and they're talking about him, everything. And there's talk that he might not play football ever again. And that it's an unfortunate situation. It's obviously something that I think is worrisome for Dolphins fans. And obviously, if that's the case, my thoughts and prayers go out to him because he's an incredible kid. He's a really, really nice guy on and off the field. And it's not something that we want to see. We want to go up against the best of the best. And if that's going to happen and the Dolphins are not going to have Tua for the rest of his career, then that's a very unfortunate situation. And I wish Dolphins fans all the best.
Yeah. So the Dolphins, without Tua starting, they're 1-3 this year. They've put up 17, 16, 21, and 11 points without him starting, and that average of 16.25. Their average for the year is a little over 23 points per game. So right now, without Tua starting, they're averaging 16, a little over 16 points. It's not been good. Jake, well, first let me ask you, Sean, when you were doing the Misfits show last night and all those score predictions were coming out in favor of the Dolphins, of course they're fans, so that might be part of it, but were they assuming that the news about Tua was going to be good, that he was going to be starting this week?
Well, a lot of I wouldn't say it's like 50-50, but a lot of people, they feel that their best chance to win is with Skylar Thompson, even though he's a 7th-round rookie. A lot of them feel that he's a better option, and some people believe Tua is a better option. But I think a good majority of the people that were doing the predictions were, it didn't matter for them. It was just they think that's going to be the score with whoever's at quarterback, and I can agree. I could think that makes some sense because when you got Waddle and Hill and Gesicki and people like that, it doesn't really matter who's throwing them. It's like Brock Purdy with San Francisco. It doesn't matter that he's a quarterback because of what they got. Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, the best offensive line in the league. But one thing about Skylar Thompson is, so when Tua plays, he kind of pre-snap, he's like, Tyreek Hill is going to end up right here in this spot. I'm going to throw it there no matter what. So if you bump Tyreek Hill off his block on the line of scrimmage, Tua's still going to throw it in the same spot even if Tyreek Hill's not there. Skylar Thompson, he'll go through progressions. So he'll throw to Gesicki more. Gesicki was the leading he had the most targets in the last game against the Jets. So he gets utilized more when Tua's not playing. When Hill and Waddle get most of the targets is when Tua's playing because he's their first read and he throws it wherever he thinks they're going to be. So it makes sense that a lot of them believe in Skylar more. The only thing about that is, we know McDermott with rookie quarterbacks, so it's going to be a big test for him. But for the majority, they believe in Skylar Thompson, and I think it might be 50-50 actually, because the fan base they've been critical, divided about Tua and Skylar all year, and so half the fan base is happy that Skylar's playing, the other half wants him to fail. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so Jake, you've been a little quiet. I haven't thrown it over your way yet, so let me throw it to you, Mr. Podger. Sorry it's taking so long. But I mean, this has to be a huge blow to them. They're 1-3 without Tua starting. Skylar Thompson, maybe you can talk a little bit about him. I mean, what college did he come out of? What have you seen in college? What type of player is he? Is he mobile, strong arm? Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, of course. 7th-round pick out of Kansas State, played in the Big 12 where they do not play defense at all. But he's a tough, gritty kid, and he's got that sneaky athleticism. He can get outside of the pocket. He can run with it a little bit. And the biggest difference between him and Tua is obviously experience, of course. But Tua is so – I actually heard this on the radio the other day. Pretty much a lot of people have confirmed this, that basically he can tell you a play that happened from 3 years ago and tell you exactly what every single person on the field did. He has like a photographic memory. And that's why I think his accuracy is also so good. And like Sean said, he's able to throw in those spots. He knows exactly where the receiver is going to be, where they should be, and he'll put it there. So I think that's the biggest difference you're getting between the two of them. Not so much in terms of arm strength or anything like that, because Tua doesn't really have the strongest arm in the world. Neither does Skylar Thompson. But I think that's really what it comes down to, is just knowing exactly where to place the football and knowing exactly where everyone is supposed to be on the field at all times. Like, that is so invaluable as a quarterback to have that knowledge and to know, basically what everyone's doing. And just to be able to pick up so fast on what the defense is doing too. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And obviously we've seen some errant throws over the last few weeks when Tua was playing. And I think part of that was just him. I think the concussion really did take its toll on him. I mean, he had 2 concussions in the span of like a few weeks, and then you throw another one into the mix to kind of end his season pretty much, more or less. So it's been a tough ride for him. Obviously I'm much happier to be playing Skylar Thompson, because I think Tua gives them a real good chance of, potentially winning a football game. let's be real here, guys. I mean, that last game we played against the Dolphins, that was awfully close. We felt like the cardiac kids pretty much, because we're just kind of on the edge of our seats, hoping that we come back and make it happen, which we did, thank God. But he gives that team the best chance to win. So, it's devastating news. I think if you're a Dolphins fan, especially with all the hope that you had at 8-3 and you're first in the division and you're thinking, hey, we're going to ride this out. We got these stud playmakers on the outside, and it just hasn't ended out that way. So feel bad for them, definitely. But for us, it bodes pretty well. I mean, we got some great news this week. It was a relief week for us. I mean, Damar Hamlin, first off, being discharged from the hospital. Then he gets discharged from the Buffalo hospital too, which is great. Kaleida Health. He was at Buffalo General, which is great. Great hospital, great staff there. So that's fantastic news. And then we get the news today that Micah Hyde and Jamison Crowder are returning to practice. I mean, can it get any better than that? And now, it's officially ruled that Tua is not going to be playing. So we're going to be going up against Skylar Thompson. Not anything to be taken for granted, because I really do think, I like the kid a lot. He's got a lot of heart, and he still gives that team chances to win in different ways. It's not going to be the same that Tua does, but I think there's some things about him that, give him an edge in some ways, just because he is a little more athletic. He can get outside of the pocket a little bit. And, I think in terms of accuracy and all that other stuff, it's not quite there. But that's where I'm at with everything, guys. I don't know if that really answers your question, Mike. I sort of went on a tangent there, but that's where I'm at.
It did. The Dolphins do a good job at protecting the quarterback as well. They've only given up 35 sacks on the year, whereas the Bills have given up 33. And like I always say, Jake, the reason that number is so low for us is Josh Allen. If we don't have Josh Allen, add another 10 sacks that we've given up at least, right? Yeah. So that put us over 40 easily. So good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the injury front. Again, it's Wednesday. It's very early. Bills are looking pretty healthy going into the week. I mean, right now, Josh Allen was full practice Wednesday. Cam Lewis, Isaiah was limited. Jordan Phillips probably resting up the shoulder. He didn't practice. Poyer usually doesn't practice during the week. And then Roger Saffold is on vet rest as well. But there are some big news over on the Dolphins side, right? Their offensive tackle, they're starting offensive tackle, Taron Armstead. I know you guys talked about him a little bit last night, Sean. There's a possibility that he misses this game, and that would be huge for them. And he's been dealing with a toe, pec, and knee and hip. I mean, my goodness, how many more things could he have wrong with him? But why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because isn't there other offensive starting tackle out as well? I mean, catch me up on what's going on with the Dolphins on their tackle situation.
Yeah, so Brandon Shell was their right tackle. He filled in this year. He was a DNP, and I think he missed a little bit of the last game, like due to injury. And then I don't remember who filled in for Armstead last week because he didn't play. But Greg Little. Yeah, Greg Little. And he was Eichenberg came back, and he was next to Eichenberg. So, you got a rookie quarterback out there with very bad – because Greg Little and Eichenberg are their two worst. So, you miss an Armstead. Armstead's a huge piece of that line. I know it's weird to say one person makes a difference, but whenever he plays, it's just a huge difference for their offensive line and in their blocking scheme. So I anticipate he will play because he's been hurt since they got him in the offseason. He's been hurt since then. He's always hurt. He only averages playing about 11 to 12 games a year. So, I mean, I think he'll play. That's why he sat out this week, was because they anticipated they would win. They wanted to rest him 1 week and then get him back out for the playoffs. And, he's going to be a big matchup for Rousseau and Shaq Lawson. But, again, he's injured. So, even though he's still phenomenal and one of the best tackles in the league, if he's injured, you got to be able to win some matchups with him. But if he's out and Brandon Shell's out, it's going to be rough for them. So, yeah. But they were both DNP, but also I don't think Armstead's practiced once this year. I think he's always been, I can prove I can play without practice. I'm always injured. So I really don't think he's had a practice all year, but I assume he'll play just because it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, definitely. And then Bradley Chubb did not practice with an ankle in hand. Again, early in the week, You'll probably know more. Usually Thursdays, you start to get a good gauge for if whether or not players are going to play. We got some people on the channel here. Some folks, maybe some of the other channels know. I don't know. K2BNY, good to see you. Thank you. Rage on Bills, we've seen you. And putting this out there, you see, I put the show link. When we get to key matchups, if you guys are brave enough, if you'd love to, click that link and join us so you can share your key
Chill
matchups.
Still.
Yeah, Chill Sills out there.
Banana, you spelled your name wrong.
Who's Banana?
You ever listen to Gwen Stefani's song? Bananas. Come on.
He was in the Miss Finn's chat yesterday. Thanks for stopping by.
I love it.
Did he
no,
join?
We welcome. We love that.
Did he join and talk a little bit, or is he just out in the chat?
Oh, he was in the chat. He or she. I don't
That's
know.
true. We don't know.
That's right.
So Banana, if you want to talk, join us and give your thoughts on the Dolphins Bills matchup. Please do.
He or she's not a fan of Greg Little.
No.
You guys remember Greg Little, the receiver? I think he had a much better career than this tackle.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, the weather looks good. It looks pretty much the same as last game that we played. It's going to be in the 30, 35 degrees, no wind hardly at all, 5 miles per hour out of the south. Perfect. So another good weather game. And Jake, you know me, I prefer these type of games because Josh Allen is not limited at all. And we've always said this. It's not always, Josh Allen throws that fastball, right? It's not just him, but it's the other players trying to catch that fastball in the weather. So again, get a dome. I'm saying that quietly. Get a dome.
I'm never worried about Josh. He could throw through the worst of winds. It's the other players on the team that really are more worrisome, especially with the drop passes. I mean, we had more last week. That's something we got to get over. And I'll tell you this, everyone's getting on Gabe for dropping a lot of passes, this, that, and other. There were a couple plays last week. It wasn't all his fault. I think people are very quick to put it on Gabe right away and say, there's two plays. There was the one drop pass that he had, which was big. That was in the end zone for a potential touchdown. That would have been Josh's fourth passing touchdown of the day.
I think a second.
And then there was what's that?
Sorry, I was gonna say that's like a second or third easy drop touchdown of the year.
I know, and it hurts. And I think it's like the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league, but I'm not going to put everything on Gabe. I think there were a couple throws too that were, underthrown behind him, tough catches to make, and I know you got to come up with them. I think it just makes it look worse because he's had a string of games where he hasn't made the big plays when he should have. So I'm not going to put everything on him. I think Gabe has a good playoff year. I really feel good about him heading into the playoffs. This is where he thrives, guys. So I'm going to give him another chance here. I feel good about Gabe Davis this week.
I'll bear that cross and blame him for everything. Because playoff Gabe Davis is a different animal.
It's different.
2020, 2021, he was phenomenal. But because of those expectations, we expected him to. And people always said, Gabe's a great number two. He's going to get 1,000 yards this season. He didn't get 1,000 yards. I know he only played 16 games, but he didn't even get 800 yards, and he only averages like 3 or 4 catches a game. So I want a little bit more from him next year. And I told Brett, and I don't know if it was just because I was angry at the game, but I said if he doesn't go off in the playoffs, I don't want him back next year. That's a little bit.
Okay, so I have a good question for you, Sean. Would you rather have him or Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Because there was a really interesting comparison that was put up the other day. I saw it on Twitter, and it showed basically you look at the stats between the two of them, almost identical. Same amount of targets, pretty much. Same amount of drop passes, very similar in that category. I think Gabe had a few more. But both very boomer bust receivers. But if I didn't tell you any of that, who would you rather have on your team as a number 2 receiver?
Well, like I said, I'm hard on Gabe. And I said I wouldn't want him back next year out of frustration. But when I look at them as players, I think MVS he's at what he is. That's always going to be what he is. Gabe Davis, though, he's not that great at route running. They're not as crisp as you think they would be hanging around Steph Diggs. And he doesn't run that many routes. And he has a catching problem. Those are all things that are fixable. So what I think Gabe Davis could be is outstanding. If I'm surprised, like some of the routes he runs are like they're not sharp cuts, they're just rounded. I'm just like, you're around one of the best route runners every single day.
And see, that wasn't the case over his first 2 seasons.
No.
I felt like his routes were excellent. I actually thought he was one of the I don't know what. Maybe it's the ankle injury. Maybe that's still lingering a little bit because that could have
the other thing. We brought that up. I said when he first got hurt again, I said, when should we be concerned about Gabe Davis? Because he's always injured with his ankle every single year, and he misses time, and then he said he hurt his thumb. So I got my concerns about Gabe Davis, but I also think the potential of him next to Steph Diggs could be insane because he's got the height, he's got the speed, but you got to broaden yourself out. You can't just run digs and goes and comebacks. You got to be able to do everything. And you with Steph Diggs, he could teach you so much. He's got some of the best footwork and some of the best route running and hands in the league. And how you've been with him for 3 years now, and you haven't really elevated that much of your game. Because when you really think about it, he got a few more catches this year than his first 2 years, but most of his yards came off of the Pittsburgh game where he got like 170 something in 3 catches.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm hard on him, but I'm going to give him the playoffs because I think he'll step up. But next year, if it's similar to what it was last year or this year, then I don't give him that big contract. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
But if he wants to come back for a cheaper one, is fine. But if he can correct all that stuff, the catching is easily correctable. Dawson Knox did it. It's easily correctable because it's just work. You might not be able to get that much faster, once you're already fast, but that's not really his problem. It's about his crisp route running and just the route tree in general, and then just the hands. You work on that stuff, man, we'll be in good shape.
Sean, let me say this real quick. Is it fixable? You are a professional football player who is at the wide receiver position, should be able to catch footballs. Jake, I agree with you. It's not all on him. Absolutely not. Look, he came out big in that 13-second game last year, right? And so expectations, like you said, Sean, they were up here. Out of the gate, he comes out big against the Rams. Opening day, Thursday Night Football, has a big play, had a couple nice catches that game. And then he tweaked his ankle, like you said, Sean. And then things just kind of went south from that point on. And, he's had some games. Like you said, the Pittsburgh game was great. What is it? Didn't he have that 98-yard touchdown in that play?
Yeah, so 64 as well.
He is a big play guy. Something been going on. Just it's been a little more common than we'd expect.
Some of that is, I think some of that's coaching too. Allowing him to only run 3 different routes in the route tree. There's something there. They know what his limitations are. And I do think maybe the ankle does have, a lasting effect on this because it was not the case in previous years. He always had very crisp routes, I thought. And route running is an art. I mean, it is very, very particular. Like every single step counts. I mean, cuts, everything like that is extremely important. So if you can't do that to full capacity, I mean, you also risk potential injury too, because it's, it's such a fast movement. It's not a natural movement at all for the body. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think it's more than just, just him dropping footballs. But sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt, but keep going.
I was done. It was all good.
Okay.
Before you go, Mike, I was going to say that one route he ran, I forgot what Chiefs defender it was. I think it might have been the last touchdown or the second to last touchdown he got, where he faked going outside.
It was the last one. It was the last one.
That was
broke his ankle, man.
Beauty, and I was just like, man,
broke his
he's
ankle.
Gonna be so good next year. And I went back and I watched my preseason. Who's gonna have a breakout year? I said Greg Rousseau, Singletary, and Gabe Davis. You could argue Rousseau did. He missed a couple games, but he finished with 8 sacks, and I think that he did pretty good this year, not just sacking category, but run stopping and dropping in coverage. So I think I hit on that one. I thought I hit on Motor too. We didn't use him as much as I thought we would. He got over 800 yards. It wasn't the most in his career, but I thought he had a solid year. And, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think Gabe Davis did a really amazing job this year. I think he didn't exceed my expectation, but he was a guy I was really high on in the preseason because I went back and was watching the old videos, and I was like, I did believe in this guy so much. Maybe I shouldn't give up on him, but it was just a lot of frustration throughout the year because, people think we have such a high-powered offense, but really our offense is just Allen and Steph Diggs are the only real guys that you can rely on constantly. They shy away from the run. we can run if we want to. And then like McKenzie's wishy-washy. We don't use Dawson Knox.
Although we started
Shakir.
to. Lately,
But yeah,
we've started to use
Shakir,
Knox.
thankfully.
Yeah.
But it's just like we're actually a lot better. Josh makes everybody better because a lot of these guys are unproven. Gabe Davis was an unproven number 2. McKenzie's an unproven wide receiver. He like I said, he does great one time, then he goes like 4 games in a row without doing much. Then he does great. So I don't know I guess that's unproven to me, but I mean he's reliable once in a while. And then Crowder went down. We don't use Shakir at all, and it would have been nice to have Isaiah Hodgins right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know who was saying that earlier in the year.
I don't know either. I don't know.
But no, what I guess what I'm trying to say is we don't have as much of a high-powered offense, like talent-wise, as people may think, but we're still putting up those same numbers as people who do. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but they don't have number 17. That is our ace in the hole. That man can make any offense look powerful. And we see it all the time. And that's, I think, one of the biggest factors in this game, right? When you look at the team, I'm going to give you a couple numbers and then we'll get into key matchups. But usually I have slides. I give you all numbers. I'm just going to be quick numbers here. On offense, the Dolphins average 23.4 points per game. I kind of mentioned that earlier. Now, imagine that's with 4 times without Tua starting. That number could be higher. So it's definitely lower without him. The Bills, we're number 2. We average 28.4 points per game. And then on defense, the Dolphins give up 23.5 points per game, and the Bills are number 2 at giving up only 17.9. So a real tough in the red zone. I feel like the Dolphins against us have done well on defense in the red zone, especially that first game. Man, they made us work for every yard. We dominated in yards. We dominated in time of possession, and yet they beat us. So let's see here. Oh, okay. I was just checking a little comment that came in over here. Who we got out there? Rage on the Bills says they need to utilize John Brown, Cole Beasley way more. So talk about that a little bit, Brett, because you mentioned it. There's a reason why Cole Beasley wasn't on the field in this past game is because we had activated him twice. And if you activate somebody a third time, is it 3 times in a row or is it 3 times in a season you have to sign them?
So it's 3 times in the season that you can call somebody up on the same roster. So he used all 3 of his uses throughout the season, but now that the playoffs have started, it can be renewed. So each week it gets renewed, and he can play no matter when. So both John Brown and Cole Beasley can play this week against the Miami Dolphins.
Perfect.
Well, Brett remembers in the pregame show that I had with Brett, I called the John Brown touchdown.
Yep.
And, it was just seeing John Brown score a touchdown against the Pats it just brought back so many memories.
You guys should listen to the Chris Brown call on that touchdown.
Yeah.
John Brown runs it down for the touchdown. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard that call. It was pretty cool. I played it last show. But Chris Brown, man, brought the excitement on those calls.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Definitely got to use, especially Cole Beasley. I mean, people forget maybe that he had over 80 receptions for us the last time he was on a team with us for a full season. Yeah, obviously, he took some time off of football. He knows what he's doing, and he's always that I can get to the first down. He always gets right to the perfect spot, throwing the ball. He's a very reliable pass catcher. And to comment about what we could commit to the run game and develop it, I think obviously I agree with that too, but I don't think we need to. I think we can have extensions of the run game with the short passes and just continue to pass because we have such a powerful passing offense. If we felt like we needed to run the ball, I understand that. But at the same time, if the pass is doing well, and you can, like I said, you can use the short passes as extensions of the run game, and I would be fine with that too. But it's all situation based. If we're not doing that, if we're not taking the short passes and taking what the defense gives us, definitely run the ball. But we got to remember the Dolphins' interior defensive line are some of the best run stuffers in the NFL. So, and we like to run the ball.
Christian Wilkins just set the record for most tackles ever by a nose tackle in a season. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah. So
crazy.
Definitely, if we're going to run the ball, you got to be different. Maybe we'll see some more jet sweeps. We didn't really see jet sweeps that much this year. Maybe we'll bring that back in the playoffs, or end arounds, or just outside runs, tosses, crack tosses, but just not about just running up the middle and getting stuffed for 1 or 2 yards. Like, that's not going to work for a run game. So I think we could run the ball on anybody, but I'm fine with just, if we need a pass, and then short passes, take what the defense gives you, and still get the running backs involved. Get Hines out there to catch some passes, like Cook catch some passes, like Ray John Bill says, and even Singletary, especially because they might be bringing the blitz like they usually do.
Yeah.
And your hot routes are very important. So usually it's Singletary to get that, or even Cook. So.
Hey, Brett, man, I want to shed some light on a comment you put in the chat here, man. I'm really, listen, man. I saw the message you sent in our group too. I'm thinking about you, man. This show's in honor of your buddy here, Justin Andrew Nicoletta. Is that right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, rest in peace to a good man, and praying for you guys, man. That's tough news, but yeah, let's dedicate this show to him. Absolutely.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I just got the news when we were I first talked during the show, so it was unfortunate news, but I appreciate that, guys. Absolutely. Trying to do it with all the love and trying to stay with you guys, but it's hard.
Well, if you need time, Brett, we'll be here, so you could take a moment. You don't have to,
Yeah, we got you.
I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna try and stay on, but let's keep rolling through it.
No worries.
You got it, brother.
All right, so this is where I'm going to offer up folks to join us. We're going to get into our key matchups. If we, how many Dolphins fans do we got in the channel? I see there's a few folks, double digits, watching us today, right now. I'd be curious how many of you are Dolphins fans, and please come on the show. Let's join. I'm going to put the link out there one last time. And I'm going to go around the chat here with the guys, asking them for their key matchups and their paths to victory for the Buffalo Bills. What are those key matchups, and how do you see the Bills winning this game today? I'm not today, but Sunday. You know what I mean. Anyhow, let me start. Let me go to Brett real quick. Your key matchups, and how do the Bills get this victory?
My first key matchup, and I'm probably going to steal it from either Jake or Sean, is going to be Christian Wilkins going up against the interior offensive line of the Buffalo Bills, and especially in Mitch Morse. And I'm hoping this matchup is going to be pretty good, but this is a guy that he's an all-pro type of player each week, each time we see him. And you know what he brings? He brings the intensity to that defensive line group. And he's somebody that can not only stop the run, but he can also become an effective pass rusher against Josh Allen. So I think that's one of the guys that I'm looking forward to, that matchup with Mitch Morse versus him. And especially if Roger Saffold or Ryan Bates can come in and chip block him a little bit during the game. I'm looking forward to that matchup because you cannot allow him to get into the backfield in this game. And then on the outside, I'm looking forward to the matchup of Stephon Diggs versus Xavier and Howard. I think that matchup is going to be really good. Howard has struggled from the beginning of the year, but now he's starting to catch back up to where he belongs with the 8 interceptions that he had a couple of years ago. And Diggs coming off of a great game against the Patriots, and it's going to be a matchup that I think is going to be one to remember, and I think it's going to be in favor of our guy Diggs. So.
Nice. I like that. Let me throw it to you, Sean. Your key matchups, and how do we get this victory?
Just want to shout out JC Texas Art, Miss Fins.
Miss Fins.
Thanks for coming in, tuning in. We appreciate y'all. And my keys to victory for the Bills is we have to put pressure on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Not that I'm disrespecting the quarterbacks or anything, but they move how these two move. And you've seen it in that Jets game. They were basically shut down, and they scored 11 points. You get these guys out of the game, or at least challenge them every play, like the Chargers said. You got to make it the hardest fought play every single time. Then I think that defense will be very successful. If we just sit in a soft zone and let them do everything until we get inside the 20s, it's going to be a rough day because it's going to it's going to be very frustrating. But where I do have confidence is we're number 2 on defense and red zone touchdowns allowed. So second best team and not allowing touchdowns in the red zone, which is awesome. It didn't seem like that in the beginning of the year, but we're excellent at that. And then with our offense, you just got to stick to our roots. Take what the defense gives you. Be smart with the football. And hopefully Spencer Brown has a good game because we don't want any strip sacks or Josh getting tackled from behind. So
yeah,
when you get tackled from behind, you don't know what's coming. So that's why you get destroyed. So protect Josh, protect the football, get the ball to Steph Diggs, get the ball to Dawson Knox. The real number 88, Miss Fins, Dawson Knox.
Oh, wow.
I told her.
Jeez, you imagine if the Bills got a chance of getting Mike Gesicki too? You pair him with Dawson Knox?
Yeah, I told her that. She don't want to hear it, though. She's like, no, baby, he ain't leaving.
He wants out of there. He does not like it there.
But yeah, so limit Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're going to get theirs, but you got to keep them from heating up and cooking. And like I said, be smart with the football. We know that we can handle their defense. They're severely banged up in the secondary, and they're missing Agba at defensive end. They got Bradley Chubb, but I think, and Jalen Phillips. But we got Deion Dawkins who can handle either or, and Spencer Brown's going to have to step up because, like Brett said, you got Christian Wilkins on the inside who's going to be hard for the guards to handle, and we need the offensive line to step up. Can't win without the big boys.
Yeah.
And don't forget Melvin Ingram, the biggest thorn in the Bills' side maybe of all time over the last few years.
Don't steal my key matchup.
I'm not going to say anymore, Mike. I'll leave that to you. You can take care of that one.
Oh, man. Hey, Miss Fins, love your show. Saw it last night, you and Sean. Thanks for joining our channel out here. You have a chance. Click the link. Come on. Tell us why you think. And I was asking Sean this. I saw your predictions last night of the Fins beating us. And I was asking, was that before or was that with you assuming that Tua was going to play? Or is that just no matter who plays, they're going to beat us? Like if you were quarterback, they're still going to beat us. I mean, that's what it sounds like. No matter who's that quarterback, going to whoop up on us. But
and there's something to be said. I will say this.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson does like to target Mike Gesicki a little bit more. So there is a chance that, he can catch some passes on us and definitely be a very mismatch, if you will. So, by the way, in terms of looks, Dawson Knox versus Mike Gesicki, that's a close call. I don't know. Dawson's, he's got the flow. He's got the hair. He wears the headband. Kind of looks like a badass out on the field. Mike Gesicki, little pretty boy.
He's got the eyes. He's got the eyes, though. It's hard.
He does. Both good-looking guys,
But,
absolutely.
JC Texas, it's the right side. The right side of our offensive line is definitely our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So hands down. But you could definitely see if they start to struggle, sending Dawson Knox in motion and then chipping before he goes out in a route or have the running back step up. But you have to eat on that right side of the line. And if you don't, then it's you get Josh time. It's going to be tough. But if you can get to him immediately, get through that right side, which is very possible because Spencer Brown can get beat really quick, then it'll be interesting. But we got to remember, Josh Allen's the number 1 rated quarterback when it comes to pressure. So it's about how much pressure you bring. If you bring the house and you leave people out to dry in the secondary, he'll pick you apart. But if you make it home with 4, then it might be a little bit different because you can drop 8. So it all depends on your defensive line if they can get home.
Yeah, for sure. Don't forget about Zach Sealer, too. He's an absolute stud. Kid out of Ferris State, D2 school. Played there with Jake Lampman. That's a name you'll probably never hear on any other show, but that's my guy from back in the day. Played with the Saints and the Bucks for a hot second. Special teamer. You know how I love my special teamers. But shout out to Zach Sealer. That dude is a grinder. He is essentially their version of Kyle Williams, if you will. Just love that guy. He plays with high intensity every single game.
Hey, Jake, before I throw it to you for your key matchups, I see Rage on Bills has joined us in the green room.
Oh,
Rage on Bills, hopefully enjoyed some of the wings we have back there. We have great wings that we put in the green room, some pizza. We're going to bring you on right now. We want to hear your key matchups. Yeah, you can check out the green room. Anyone who wants to check it out.
I'll be back.
Some good food right there. So let's bring on Rage on Bills. And Rage on Bills, how you doing, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, y'all? Man,
How we
that's
doing, man?
one hell of a green room. I don't see one spot of green in this shit.
It's
We
all
don't like
about the
green this
wings
week.
and the
We don't
pizza,
like
buddy.
green. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just hanging out watching the stream. I'm not really by my setup or anything. Just got off of work not too long ago, but I got on here. I saw Sean was on. I was like, all right, brother, I got you. I'm gonna check it out. And I already checked out Nickel City Mafia. I mean, you guys saw me earlier.
Yep.
In the week and all that, but yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a secret. I think Sean said Bills by 15, right? Whether they're gonna win by 15 or lose by 15.
I saw
They're
Miss
gonna-
Finn say Dolphins by 15, and I don't think Sean, you didn't give.
Oh no, I didn't give a prediction.
You didn't give a
Well,
prediction.
maybe I
So it
can
was
only
Miss
see
Finn's.
it in like certain chats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why Buffalo is gonna win by
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
more than 15. You see, I put my special juju
Okay.
on this skull here. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. My girl got me that in Mexico when she was on vacation, and I was like, "Holy
I thought
shit!"
you were gonna bring something Pancho Villa up or something
Yeah,
like that. I was gonna get real fired up.
And I was like, "Man, they got Bills fans in Mexico." They're like, "They're everywhere. They're everywhere."
They
No,
sure
but
are.
anyway,
They sure are.
like I honestly, I'm not going to be long because man, it's been a long day. But the Bills, they're going to beat the Dolphins. There's no doubt in my mind. I would rather have Tua play because I want to play a strong team. I want the Bills to play a strong team to show that they are top notch. I don't want them to get comfortable with a team that's injury riddled or down and out. Like, even though we've had our share of injuries, but the next man up formula always seems to work for us this year. But my main thing with Buffalo is they need to be more consistent. They need to stay consistent with their play. Like, you can't have them running the ball on us and then setting up the play action. And even if it's Skylar Thompson, he does his little dink and dunk stuff. You can't have that.
Yeah.
You can't have that. Especially in the later rounds, which I mean, Kansas City might get knocked off, and so might the Bengals. I got that feeling. I mean, that's what my skull just told me.
You never know.
Anthony Brown and the Ravens gonna take down the freaking Bengals. You think it?
That's what my skull just told me. I mean,
I love it. I love it.
I don't know.
I got to get me one of those skulls,
That'd be
man.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. My life hasn't been the same since she brought it back. Like, I just I hear like a little bit of Jim Kelly and Josh Allen in my ear at night
Oh, I
sometimes.
love it. I love it.
Before Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
You hear some bad things, man?
Mean nothing.
No, it's just like my best friend down here, he moved to Tennessee, but he's a Dolphins fan, and he called me earlier and he was like, "Man, you guys are gonna whoop our ass. I'm real. I'm not only am I Cuban, but I'm real. I'm a Dolphins fan. I love Miami, and you guys are gonna whoop our ass." And I'm like, "Listen, man, if there's one thing that Buffalo has taught me is to not sleep on anybody, because as soon as I go to talking shit, that's when it goes downhill."
Yep.
You're
Like
absolutely
when-
right, man.
When
Can't take
Nyheim
anything
Hines,
for granted.
Nyheim Hines had that one that kick return touchdown, right? I loved it. I was like excited as hell. Buffalo messed up 2 more times in that last game against the Patriots. I went outside to smoke a cigarette. Right? And my girl was like, I heard my girl screaming through the window, "Babe, babe, babe." I'm like, "Oh, did she fall or something? So I came back inside and she goes, I'm like, "What happened?" She's like, "They did it again." I'm like, "What, they fucked up again?" He's like, "Oh, no, he ran it back for a touchdown again." I'm like, "Holy shit." Now,
Hey.
that's not a sign from God.
That saved
Oh,
you.
yeah.
man.
So
No,
what you're
it
telling
would've-
me is you got to go take a smoke break, and then the Bills are going to do well.
Yeah, we'll send
Man,
you
I
out for
smoke-
smoke breaks.
Not
I'll
often.
encouraging smoking, but
When
know.
Buffalo gets on my nerves, I will smoke half a pack before the half.
That's what I have to do, man. I
Jake,
get-
yes, Jake
I
might
get
have to.
stressed out.
I'm sorry, not Jake, but Sean for
Y'all
sure.
need to pray to the skull real quick, man.
All
I
right.
love it. We'll say, listen, we're going to screenshot this. I'm going to pray to that skull every night throughout the game too. I mean, it's going to be a thing.
Well,
I do
what's
want to
that?
know.
Like that movie, Major League. What's his name? Jabu, the one inside the Babu or something like that.
Yeah,
You know.
I love
No,
it.
I'm just messing, guys. I
Hey,
just
man,
got on here.
I have a question for you, though. I want to know. So you live down in Miami. So are you from Buffalo originally? How did you become a Bills fan? Like, what got you into liking the Bills and loving this team the way you do?
That is a hell of a story. Um, my dad was actually at training camp for the Bills to play running back.
Wow.
And that was in like the 60s or some shit.
Wow. Okay.
What was his name?
Paul Cazzola. I think he was there like it's just to try out or some kind of shit he was telling me. He was showing me pictures and
That's cool, man.
and stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, I was making it far, but his ex-wife at the time, my brother's mom said, if you don't stop that shit and come home and be with me and the kids, then I'm gonna leave you. And he hung it up.
Yeah. Different times back then too. They weren't making, millions of dollars. These guys, they had shifts at the steel mill after practice, totally different ball game back in the day.
Oh yeah. Like, man, if they played now like they did back then, I'll love that team even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every
like,
hit is illegal now from that era.
Like Lyle Alzado, I could watch that dude every
rest in peace
day.
Yes.
So Rage on Bills, before you head back to the green room and enjoy some food, give us your score prediction.
Score prediction. Why does my score always end up with Buffalo being 35?
You know what? We have a bunch of people on this channel that say that. Big L. Big L's going to love that one.
He's definitely going to love that. My dad.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just say 35 to 10 Buffalo. And I already told TD that. I already told him that earlier. So
nice.
The goofy glasses he was wearing, saying he's going to see me Sunday. I'm like, okay, I'll see you Sunday too, man. Yeah. So
well, I don't know what the skull did, but Miss Finn said she went from saying they're going to win by 15. Now that she's saying they're only going to win by 3. So keep whatever that skull's doing. It's working magic right now. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, Dolphins aren't winning. We need to just focus on who's next up. Just as long as the Bills don't get complacent, and they're going to be fine.
All right. Well, thanks, Rage on Bills. I know you just started your channel up not that long ago. Checked it out. It was cool. Good stuff. Glad you're on here. Hope to do more with you. And go check out Rage on Bills if you get a chance.
Absolutely.
And subscribe to his channel. And
you're not going to get a more unfiltered, uncut, raw.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
Then what you get from here. If you want analytics, watch Good Morning Football. If you want, if you want raw, uncut Bills Mafia jumping through tables, smashing shit, getting pissed, and being lit live, come see me.
Let's go.
I'll be the wild card. I'll be the wild card.
I love it.
Love it, man.
Firing me up, baby. I love it. I'm ready to jump through a table right now.
Right. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Bill's podcast. I'm sorry, man. I didn't catch your name, but I'm sorry for your loss, brother.
I appreciate it, brother.
I caught that as well. You guys have an awesome, blessed night. Love the show. Let's keep it going. Go Bills.
Hey, go Bills. Love
go
you, brother.
Bills.
Thank you for joining
us.
us.
Care, man. Yeah, appreciate you. Go enjoy some of those wings.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. Good stuff, Rage on Bills. And so, Jake, let's throw it to you now. Your key matchups for this game and the path to victory for the Bills. And I didn't ask any of you this, but I want to know, after you give that, what's the path to victory? Speak for Miss Finn here. How do the Dolphins beat the Bills? And I'll ask Sean the same thing with a third-string quarterback. But first, your key matchups in this game and how the Bills win this game.
I think it's got to be our defensive line against their banged up offensive line. I think it's absolutely something to be noted. I mean, Terron Armstead playing injured. They're beat up a little bit on that O-line. I think, you get some pressure on this young rookie quarterback. It's kind of cliche to say, but that is his worst nightmare. So especially, I think last week too, the D-line was almost underwhelming at times. We weren't really getting the pass rush that we necessarily had seen in the weeks before. I think guys in the interior, especially like Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, those guys, I think it's time for them to step it up a little bit too. And you got some of their better players on the interior for the Dolphins and Connor Williams and Robert Hunt. But I will say this, I think on the outside, we can really take advantage of them. I like Greg Rousseau in this matchup a lot. I love what Shaq Lawson has been bringing as far as energy goes too. So I think for them, it's going to be a great opportunity. Whether it's Brandon Shell or Kendall Lamb playing out there at right tackle, I mean, we'll see. It's up to be TBD at the moment because I think he's banged up too. So
yeah, he's banged up as well. So
yeah. So I think absolutely you gotta take that into consideration, man. I think you put a lot of pressure on Skylar Thompson. You saw it last week. The Jets did that, and he was taking some hits out there, man. I mean, he is a warrior. I'll tell you what, he's got a ton of heart. So shout out to Skylar Thompson. Credit to him for being able to do that. But I think absolutely that's a key to victory. I mean, they only put up 11 points against that Jets D, and obviously the Jets defense is really good. But I think the Bills can kind of mirror that if we do the right thing and get some pressure on them. So that's absolutely one of my key matchups. As far as the offensive side of the ball goes, too, I think it's taking advantage of those spot routes, taking advantage of the stuff, because a lot of what the Dolphins played the first time we played them early on in the season, they played a lot of bend don't break, pretty much letting up the dink and dunk routes, which, hey, after a certain point that wears a team down. And I think especially with how the Dolphins have been pretty banged up throughout the whole entire season defensively, they've been pretty intact for the most part, but they're going to send the blitz a little bit. I think they're going to play a very similar defense to what they played in the first game against us. So I think you got a guy like Cole Beasley now. You can't stress it enough. You got to get him involved. And I think Dawson Knox, man, I mean, listen, playoffs are his time to shine. He's been great in the playoffs. He scored a touchdown in 3 consecutive games now. So I think absolutely for those two should be a nice big day. And hey, Isaiah McKenzie, man, I've been beating him, beating my chest to Isaiah McKenzie over the last few weeks, saying he's going to have a big game. So I like him in this game as well, a lot. And that's a guy who's been very scrutinized as well, but I think it's time for him to shine. So the underneath stuff all day, I think you got to just ride with it.
Yeah.
All right. Before I'm going to hold on the how did the Dolphins win this game just for a second, because I'll ask all of you that. But I did see someone join in the green room, but then they jumped off. If you want to come on back, we'll get you on right.
Come back.
We'll get you back. We'll get you on right away.
King of Bills Mafia, come back.
Yeah, I think that's what his was what his name is. I don't know if he didn't like the wings or the pizza that we were serving up. Maybe he's not from the local area, because let me tell you something crazy. When my wife visited Buffalo last year in October and I gave her some of that amazing Imperial pizza, she did not like it, Jake. She did not like it one bit. She said it was disgusting. Pizza is different.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I think the problem is that my daughter ordered it with double cheese, and she's just not a cheese person. But anyhow, I was very disappointed, and to me, Buffalo has the best pizza anywhere.
Yep,
I love
All right, so let me talk about some of my key matchups, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. First of all, is the cornerbacks against their wide receivers. We've been taking a lot of heat, right? Our corners have been giving up pretty big numbers. I watch another show because I try to keep up with not only the Dolphins shows, but I watch a show on the KC, the Arrowhead Addicts. They're probably the biggest podcast for the KC team, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're not just homers. The guy in there does a pretty good job. And he basically said the Bills are probably the number 3 team right now. He feels they're the number 3 team because of that secondary. And we know Trey White, he came back on Thanksgiving. He's been slowly getting back. But if you look at his PFF numbers, they're okay. We knew it was going to take Trey a while to get back. Kyer Elam, he's had a pretty decent season. PFF doesn't agree with that necessarily. And then Dane Jackson, we think, has probably struggled the most out of the corners. So to me, it's the cornerbacks shutting down these receivers and maybe getting some help with that. But how do they do that? And I'll throw it to you, Sean, because we've been giving up some big numbers lately to good receivers, and these are 2 of the best receivers we're going to face. So talk to me a little bit about, what you've been seeing from this cornerback crew on the Bills. Is it just a matter of Trey's just not where he was? Is it just a matter of Von Miller not being at line, getting the pressure like we thought? Talk to me.
Well, before I get into that, I just want to to mention off of, he said we're the third best team because of our secondary. What does that make the Chiefs? Because their secondary is even worse than ours. So, I mean, I don't know if they're fourth or fifth, but even with the injuries and the struggles we had this year in the secondary, we're still number 2 in scoring defense. And with total defense, we're top 10 in every single category except for fourth downs. We're number 22 in fourth downs percentage allowed. Every single other category for total defense, we're in the top 10. So, I mean, that goes to show the how great this defense actually is. But what I want to say about can you repeat that question, Mike? It just slipped my mind for a second.
It's
The
the
second
corners.
part.
Our cornerback. It's our key matchup.
Oh, the cornerbacks,
and
right.
They've been giving up some big numbers.
Give me 1 sec. My wife's at the door ringing the doorbell.
Oh, no worries. We'll come back to that question. My other key matchup, you kind of mentioned it earlier. Spoiler alert, Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram has been kicking our butt since last year. Since he was on the Steelers game 1, made a big, I think it was a strip sack. And then I'm like, man, we're not going to have to see him. Then he goes on and he's traded to the freaking Kansas City Chiefs, and we have to face him in the 13-second game. And again, even in game 1 this year against the Dolphins, now he's on the Dolphins. I'm like, can this guy stop going to teams that we play on a regular basis? He's a great player. He's always been a good pass rusher. He's always been a little injury prone in his career, but when he's on the field, the dude makes plays. So we got to get some help. Make sure he is not in Josh's face because he seems to make plays against the Buffalo Bills. And then Jalen Phillips, you guys kind of mentioned him. One of you did. You know, he's been up and coming. He's played really well against our Bills these past 2 games. He made I think he had a strip sack in the last game. And he's just getting better. Interesting fact about him, he was drafted the same year as Rousseau. He was the number 1 edge rusher taken off the board. Rousseau was number 2. And they both went to the same college in their senior year. Rousseau took that year off because of COVID, and Jalen Phillips transferred. Where did he transfer from, Jake?
UCLA.
Yeah, so he came from UCLA, and so he played his senior where Rousseau did when he took the year off, and he was the number 1 player taken off the board as far as edge rushers go, and Rousseau was taken later on in the first round. If you compare the two real quick, Jake, let's compare the two. Who's doing better? Who got the better end of that deal? Did we get the better pick at down lower in the first round, or do you think Jalen Phillips is that?
In terms of career sacks right now, Jalen Phillips, I believe, is leading this year. He did have less sacks than Greg Rousseau. I think Greg Rousseau finished with 7.5.
I think he had 8.5.
Oh, it was 8. Okay, 8.5. Yeah. So Jalen Phillips had 7 this year. He had 8.5 last year. So I think in career sacks, he is still leading it by a little bit. Both really good players, both young. I mean, a lot of like potential with both of them. I think they both haven't even gotten to that point just yet. I think year 3 for both are going to be just so incredibly explosive. It's going to be amazing. It's cool to have, good pass rushers in the same division. It makes it exciting. But yeah, he's a dog, man. He is legit, and it's going to be a great comparison over the next few seasons for sure.
Yeah, totally agree. And he came on late last year. He got off to kind of a rough start. Groot was actually more productive early on because Groot was getting more snaps. Jalen Phillips got off to a slow start, but came on big at the end of the year. I think he had like 6 sacks in his last 5 games, something like that.
Something crazy like that.
And he's been pretty steady all year this year, and he's definitely made his presence known in the games against us. So, Sean, now that you're back, let me throw it back to you about these cornerback situation. What's your thoughts on our cornerback situation? They letting you down? They playing where you expected? Or I don't know what's going on, because I feel like they're giving up too many big plays, and there's too many breakdowns going on, and that could just be what's going on. Position with Dean Marlowe playing last week, the youngster DeMar, and I do want to ask you too, follow-up question. You've been asking for Dean Marlowe. You got him last week, and I want to hear what your grade of him was in that game. So start with the corners first.
Okay. Well, I think part of it is just the defense we run. I mean, we run a very soft zone, and usually, we have Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Levi Wallace was a lot better than what some people think he was last year. And Dane Jackson actually was better last year than he was this year, in my opinion. So, our passing stats went down. And there was a time where we had Dane Jackson out, Poyer out, Hyde out, and Elam out. So it was just a carousel for secondary for us this year. So I think it changes some of the numbers. But like I said, I think the defensive line has been fantastic. And I think a lot of it is just the soft zone defense we play. It's easily beatable. You give every receiver. We don't play most of the time. We don't play a tight zone. We're comfortable giving up what's in front of them, and then making the tackle, which is weird because we're the second to last at tackling in the NFL. We're ranked 31st out of 32 teams, only above the Texans. We're one of the worst tackling teams in the NFL. So you would think we play a little bit tighter zone, but I think the majority of it is just how teams elect to play us. They do the quick passes to beat the pass rush. Because, Brett always mentions that in the game. He's like, the pass rush ain't getting home. And I say it's just because they get the ball out in too quick of a time.
That's what the Pats did. Yeah,
that's what we did against the Rams. Aaron Donald got 1 sack, but for the most part, we were doing quick passes because that's how you neutralize a great pass rush.
Right.
What we do when we face great pass rushes is we hold the ball for 20 seconds and try to get a deep ball, and then Josh gets smacked 50 times in a game, and then we wonder why we didn't score that much or why Josh didn't have the best statistical game against the Jets. That's because he wasn't taking what was underneath him. We were just trying to go for the deep ball and win with one play. So I think a lot of it, though, is just how the teams elect to play us. They neutralize the pass rush with quick passes. And then when you play a zone, the slants are always open. The outs are always open. And it's just an easy defense to beat when you run zone. But, again, we're very good in the red zone. So that helps a lot, too. And that's why I think they're comfortable with giving up the middle of the field, because they know when it comes to the red zone, we'll buckle down and we'll hold them to 3 most of the time. But as fans, it's hard to watch because, you just want to make them stop. Because you know how your defense is. Just stop them here. Like, it's 3rd and 5, just get a stop. Oh, first down? Okay. Bring it down to the inside the 20. You hold them to a field goal, you get a turnover. Oh, okay, that's better. But, yeah, it's a lot of what the defense we play. And we have great personnel. Our linebackers are great in coverage. Trey White's back. He looks phenomenal. Jordan Poyer is playing injured, but he's still Jordan Poyer. Dane Jackson can make plays, but he gets picked on. And, DeMar was playing great. His first couple games starting was a little bit rough, but he's been absolutely phenomenal this year. And then, DeMarlo, we'll get to DeMarlo. I wasn't wanting him because I think he's a better safety than anybody else, but I wanted to at least see him in the game a little bit because we traded a pick for him. So as you said, he finally got some playing time. I didn't think he did awful. I'll give him a C+ though. I think he did. He made some good tackles and some good plays, but I don't expect him to be like an A+ player. But it was nice to finally get him some snaps though.
Right,
have we lost faith in Jaquan Johnson? Like, is that it for him? You think he's?
I want to come back to that, Jake.
Yeah.
But we do have the Mafia King in the green room. It looks like it wasn't problem with the pizza. I think he just had a bad connection. So, Mafia King, does anyone know the Mafia King? Let's bring him on. Mafia King, how you doing out there?
All right. First of all, it was no bad pizza. It was just delusion from the Miami Dolphins fans. I'm gonna throw that out there. But it's nice meeting all you guys. You guys go do a great job, covering the Bills and stuff.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. All right. Here's my thoughts on the game. Look, we just gotta press Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It's just not that hard. I guess you could say it's hard since they're the 2 most fastest receivers in the game. Also, we have to stop the run because the last game we played against Miami, we couldn't stop the run for nothing. And that was the only reason why they, kept it close.
Right.
And I'm hearing reports that Rossar might not even start due to a thumb injury. So we'll see how that goes. And also let's be for real. The Miami Dolphins is dealing with a lot of injuries. So it's like there is no excuse that the Bills should go in here and lose a game like this. I mean, you just can't.
I agree.
Yeah.
And especially with so much on the line. And then that's another reason why I got to go into that. The main reason of why the Bills is probably going to win this game, I think the NFL is about to do some rigging. I believe that, and I'm being dead serious. I look back to the Patriots game last week, and obviously emotions with DeMar. God that he's released from the hospital. I just think that the NFL was not going to allow the Bills to lose that game because I saw some calls that should have been flagged on the Buffalo Bills.
Couple PIs,
all sides, and then it's just like that was the first NFL game since 2015, I believe. So like there was like no flags on either side of the ball until like the late fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this game, and this is at 1:00. Man, the Dolphins don't know what they're getting into, man. It's a wrap, man. This might be a blowout. I know some people say, well, it might be close. I don't understand that, but I don't know, man. Wild stuff has happened in Wild Card Weekend, so we don't know what's gonna happen. We just gotta win. Like no excuses. Like at all because they got Scar Thompson at quarterback. It's just like that team is just injured, man, and it's like there's no excuse to lose the game. Like it's just there's no excuse.
Yeah. Mafia King, if this is the team we think the Bills are, you're right. There's no excuse to beat this team that is starting a third stringer. Looks like their offensive tackles are dinged up pretty badly.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like we don't even know Teron Armstead is going to play too. So that's so we should like feast on that. Hopefully.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question that Jake asked our last guest. Tell us about how you became a Bills fan. Did you grow up in Buffalo, or where are you at these days?
I'm from Buffalo, so I was just learning the game a little bit. Well, at first, I wasn't like a Bills fan because I didn't even know the Buffalo Bills had a team here. I didn't even know there's like a football team here in Buffalo at first.
What? How do you know that? How does that happen?
Yeah, because it's like, well, I kind of like at first I was, my very first team I did like was the Eagles.
Okay.
Because of Mike Vick.
Oh, okay. And I was going to ask, like, what year? Give me the time frame of this. Okay, so when Mike Vick came back,
it was the year because the very first game I watched, it was the Eagles and the Cowboys. It was a wild card round, so that was like the year the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Okay, so 2009 that would be okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, there was so many players I did like Mike Vick, a prime Sean McCoy. And my favorite receiver of all time, Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah, and then when I found out about the Bills, it was like what was the Vikings game, I believe. So I think it was Brett Favre at the time at the quarterback. And I didn't like the jerseys at the time.
Arthur Mote's game against the Vikings?
I think so. It was like in the dome. Yeah. I think it was like in the dome. I believe so. I remember watching it on TV.
Okay.
And I didn't like the jerseys at the time because it was navy blue. But once we brought back the Warrior blue, it was like, oh. So, and it was just like a fun. I mean, I know we weren't good, but it was just something to get behind with, with the Bills. Because, I mean, everybody liked the Bills around here, because we got a rowdy fan base, So it's like, we're the Bills Mafia, so it's whatever. But yeah, that's how I became like a Bills fan,
Nice.
Growing up. Yeah.
How about a Bills Eagles Super Bowl? That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, that would be cool. I mean, going, two rowdy cities, like this destroying like Arizona, But
Yeah.
but the Super Bowl that I really want the most, I think every Bills fans want the most. I mean, they might not be there, but I'm still hoping and praying he be there. I want Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
That being something.
I want Tom Brady.
Yeah.
After 20 years of putting us in pain and suffering, it would just be nice to get that one revenge, the one that matters the most for all in the Super Bowl.
100%.
Send him into retirement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Senator. I mean, I don't think he's gonna retire. I mean,
nah, he's going to the Raiders next year. Come on,
he's
now.
doing a lot of TikToks. This guy, Instagram, he looks healthier than ever. My God.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna retire.
Sure.
I think he might go to the Raiders, as Jake said.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is that we do play the Raiders next year in Buffalo.
Whew, that'd be rowdy.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so I will circle that one.
There's a narrative that scares me about Bills Eagles, and I'll tell you, you should know why, right? Who did we lose to in those 4 Super Bowls?
Oh, the
Giants,
NFC East.
Cowboys.
NFC
like
East.
Cowboys, Giants, the Redskins.
The only team we didn't lose to was the Eagles, and this could close the book, and I don't want to see that. That could be one narrative. The Eagles beat the Bills, and they all 5 Super Bowls we lost to the NFC East. I don't want to hear that.
Well,
so I'm a little worried about that narrative.
We have a chance to play 3 of them.
Well, I mean, if you look at it as a whole, I mean, like the NFC East just like owns the AFC East comes to Super Bowls. Like the Giants beat us, I mean, well, we all know why. They beat the Patriots twice. We lost to the Cowboys twice.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins lost the Super Bowl to the Cowboys and the Redskins. I believe so.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, like the only team like in the division that has never lost a Super Bowl to the NFC East will be like the Jets, which is hilarious,
right?
Yeah, like we Miami, us, and we all lost to the NFC East, but except for the Jets. So it's like it's more of a NFC East thing, against the AFC comes to Super Bowls. I mean, I can't. I don't know what it is. Maybe they just own us. So that's all I have to say. But it would be cool to. I mean, well, I won't say Eagles and Cowboys. I won't say Eagles and Bills. I also say the Cowboys too, or the Giants if they make it there. If they make it there, we all know the narratives about that. Yeah. Dable against his former team.
Well, that'd be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Mafia King, do you have your own channel? Do you?
Yes, I have my own YouTube channel.
All right.
I trash talk on there, so
I love it.
So against like any fan base, I do swear in there just for clarification. I do like hype videos. I do my own live streams. I haven't done like a live stream like in like months. I might do it for this week before the playoffs start for predicting the entire playoff picture. So there's like some things I have to do, but again, I'll put it in the link in the description below so that you can go check it out.
Sounds good. And before you head out, Mafia King, give us your score prediction for the game.
Does anyone watch college football in here?
I love.
Okay, so we got 1. Okay, 2. Okay, so so you guys watched the national championship game on Monday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so we're Georgia.
Okay.
And the Dolphins are TCU.
Wow.
That'd be insane.
I don't think it's gonna be 65-7. I think we might blow them out even more than that. Probably wait, let's see. They won a Super Bowl in 72, so we'll put 72 on it, and we'll be. I'll be a little nice. I'll give them 17.
Oh man!
Oh my!
I just want to see pain, misery, and Dolphins fans and stuff.
I think you gotta say we're gonna beat the record, because the record of all time in a playoff game for largest margin of victory was the Chicago Bears in 1940.
Oh yeah,
Washington
we have to like beat that record. I mean that happened in the 40s. I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah.
That happened before our time.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I know. So,
But yeah, that's my score prediction. this Georgia TCU encore.
I love that.
Oh man, that'd be nuts.
That put us all at ease early on, and then we can start celebrating by
madness
halftime.
stats. We're gonna put up madness stats, man.
Okay.
Love it, baby. I love it.
All right. Well, Mafia King, listen, thank you very much. We're going to get on for the rest of the show. We got some other things to talk about, and I hope that we can do this again with you, man. Great to see you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It was nice meeting you all.
You got it. Go check out some more.
Yeah, man.
Go check out some more of that pizza that we got down in there, and the barbell wings that we got.
I won't get the Miami. I am kind of
since you're from Buffalo. What's your pizza of choice here?
Pepperoni.
Okay, and where do you go? Where do you typically get your pizza from?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, like I like any pizza, So I mean, it doesn't matter which pizza is pizza. That's all I gotta say. Man.
Buffalo pizza.
Well,
you can say that about Buffalo pizza.
Yes, you can't say that. Look, I'm out here in California, and I am still searching for a decent pizza. You can't say that out here, but in Buffalo, there are so many pizza places. You have to be good, else you'll be out of business.
Well, I would say that probably the best pizza in Buffalo. I don't know if you guys is gonna agree with me or not. I would say it'll be Bocce's.
Oh, I love Bocce's. Bocce's is fantastic.
Great choice. Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the best pizza.
I can agree.
Good stuff. And
awesome.
Real quick, because we got a poll going on our channel. What's your favorite place to go for the chicken wing?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. You know what? What's that place called? The LA Navarre. I can't pronounce it.
Barbell?
No.
Huh?
You saying Barbell?
No, it's like a LA and it has like
Lenova?
Yeah, Lenova. Yeah.
Okay. They do have good wings.
Yeah, it's just I don't do ranch, so we don't accept that.
Oh, thank you. As
we
a true
don't
Buffalonian
accept
should say.
that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, if we see ranch, we go crazy, and we might throw you from the table.
Yeah,
right.
That's it's only acceptable in Florida.
What's that?
It's only acceptable in Florida, where I'm at.
Oh.
I like blue cheese on it. I like blue cheese. I'm the only one here that does.
That's funny. We
got a Bills fan in Florida. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, man, just survive. Just don't let no Dolphins fan come at you.
That's right.
I'm about 3.5 hours from there, so I'm not worried about that.
All right, but at least you're a Bills fan, though. That's good enough.
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mafia King. Good to see you again. Let's do this again. You can.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night and go Bills and screw the Dolphins. Bye.
All right. Let's go. Let's go. Take care,
Go
man.
Bills, baby.
Good stuff. I love this. We got to do more of this. Sad to think that we waited till potentially last game of the season, 4 games left in the season, and we're just doing a show where we're bringing on guests. And I'm just happy that people are brave enough, because we've tried. They're just never brave enough. So thank you for those that have come on. Banana, where are you at in Cali? So I grew up in Buffalo, but I moved out. Work, actually it wasn't work. My family moved out, and I was kind of forced to move to Cali initially. Then I went back to Buffalo, and then I got a job out here, and I've been out here ever since. So I've lived probably half my life, both places, Cali and Buffalo. But right now I'm out in SoCal, about in 40 minutes from San Diego. So that's the closest place. Are you out here in Cali, Banana, by any chance? Is that what you're asking? Let me know. We can meet up for some. There's no real good place for wings.
A chain restaurant.
I can't even say we can go meet up at a good wing place or pizza, because there are none. But hey, if you like some good Mexican food, if you like we got top-notch Mexican food out here. Nothing better.
It's hard to believe there's no good pizza out there.
Dude, it's hit or miss.
It's pizza.
It really is.
It's pizza, man. It's not that hard.
It's the dough. It's the dough and the sweet sauce that Buffalo uses. That's it. I mean, mushrooms are mushrooms. Pepperoni's pepperoni, but it's got to be that cup and char pepperoni. And there's one place that does it out here, but nothing.
So what you're saying is it's good out there, but it's not what you want.
No. Then I go to Buffalo, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I've been missing. We don't have beef on weck. There's no place out here that sells beef on weck. How can you not sell beef on weck? Anybody who starts serving that sandwich out here, I mean, that line would be out the door. But no one has done
Probably
it.
like $50 too.
I mean, what's going on? Nobody's done that. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if you can't get the Kimmelweck rolls out here on the West Coast. I don't know what the heck it is, but maybe I'll start my own little, deli, and it'll have beef on weck at the top of the menu. Let's
Definitely
go.
Should.
So down here in Florida, they sell the roast beef sandwich. They say it's a beef on weck, but they don't sell it with the juice. They don't put juice on it.
Come on.
No Jew. Yeah, no Jew. And I'm like, why? Why would
Terrible.
you do that to a sandwich? You just ruined my sandwich. So
I mean, that's just dry. Like that's
yeah,
a
it's a dry
sandwich.
sandwich.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a roast beef sandwich now.
You use horseradish
dry
too,
wet.
right?
Yes.
We got the real good horseradish here too. It's great. Oh,
Yep.
God, I'm hungry.
God.
You're
We
making
don't
me
have-
hungry,
we don't-
guys. Making me hungry. Not
We
cool
don't have
at
any
all.
good pizza places down here.
So, Banana, you're out in Silicon Valley there. Are you in the tech industry by any chance? Just curious. So let's get back to one question. We were talking about safety. We were talking about Dean Marlowe. You were asking, have we completely given up on Daquan Jones? And I really didn't expect to see. I know you guys were asking for Dean Marlowe. I'm not a big fan. I said it. There's nothing special about this guy. I feel like Cam Lewis would do a good job. I know Daquan Jones struggled in a couple starts that he got this year, or is it just one start? But the man was a tackling machine in college. Is it just that he had a bad game? I don't know. But do you want to continue to see Dean Marlowe, Jake, or would you prefer someone else fill that spot?
I think the biggest thing you're getting, so the biggest difference between like Dean Marlowe and then Damar Hamlin, I talked about it in our post game last week, and basically it's tough to replace a guy like Damar Hamlin because he could play all over. He plays up close on the line of scrimmage. He can play in coverage. Dean Marlowe doesn't really have that. He's more of a coverage guy, which, is a good thing because you like to have the safety blanket back there pretty much, allowing him to, come up with a big play, maybe a tipped interception, something like that, especially in a zone defense. But he doesn't have the same versatility that Damar Hamlin, offered. And Jaquan Johnson, man, in the preseason, he was so good. Like, I felt like he was that guy, the guy that could sort of play all over the field. I mean, he was playing up on the line of scrimmage, making plays, especially that Colts game. You go back and watch the tape on that. I mean, all over the place. I mean, he was playing against the starting offense, too. So it wasn't like he was playing against scrubs or anything. No one's a scrub in the NFL. But it's not like he's playing against, second or third stringers. He's playing against the first string offense, against a good offensive line and, good running backs, all that stuff. So for him to, I guess, underperform this year, I've been pretty surprised by that. And it's interesting that they've sort of gotten away from him. But, when it comes to Dean Marlowe, I think they're just comfortable with him because he knows the defense. He's been in this defensive scheme for basically the entirety of his career, minus when he was in Detroit and Atlanta. But, I think for him, he offers you that veteran leadership on top of the ability to cover a little bit. Whereas, Jaquan Johnson, I think he's more of a boomer bust guy. So maybe that's the reasoning behind it. But like you said, Mike, I mean, if you're going to use one of the two, whether it's Dean Marlowe or Cam Lewis, I thought Cam Lewis did a pretty solid job too. I mean, obviously the play that comes to your head when you're thinking of Cam Lewis is the Justin Jefferson play on 4th and 18, but that's just a hell of a catch by him.
Have the one seed if it wasn't for Cam Lewis.
I know, man. That's a killer for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting move to say the least. But I do think you have to see what you have out of this guy. You traded a 7th round pick for him, so I get the reasoning behind it.
Yeah,
seventh round pick. You're acting like we traded like a first or second.
Hey,
we got
we draft well
to get
in
him on the
rounds.
field.
We draft well in those late rounds,
do.
though.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
but they never make it to the team. That's the problem. Is they go to other teams like the Giants or the Eagles or other teams like that, and then they have
so
success.
good, but we don't get to use them. Like that's perfect.
Exactly.
Right.
So, Brett, let me ask you about Dean Marlowe. I know you and Sean were both kind of wanting him. And was there a reason you wanted him over like a Cam Lewis or a Daquan Johnson? What was your thoughts there? Pretty similar to what Jake was saying.
Mine was more about the veteran presence in the secondary. That's what I was really looking for. Somebody that knew what to do out there. And I just felt like Cam Lewis at times, he just wasn't in the right spot. he's more of a cornerback than he is a safety. So I just felt like he was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And I just wanted Dean Marlowe out there just because he can bring that veteran leadership, and also because I felt like he could step up in the run game like DeMar Hamlin was doing. So I felt like you can move Dean a little bit more around than you could with a Cam Lewis.
Interesting.
I think especially with this defense too, it's tough to make that transition. People think it's easy to make the transition from corner to safety. But in a zone defense, I think it's a little bit more difficult, if you will. You know, playing zone as a safety is a little bit different than playing zone as a corner. So I think that definitely has a place in the decision making too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, remember the last cornerback for the Bills that moved to safety in Aaron Williams. He had success. He was able to do it, but I felt like that was more of a man coverage than it was a zone coverage.
Oh yeah,
so
that was a Rex Ryan defense. Yeah,
it's a Rex Ryan defense. So I don't see Cam Lewis having the same success as Aaron Williams.
Sean, do you want to see Dean Marlowe stick to that? He be the starter, or you want to mix it up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd be fine with it. I don't want to throw Johnson out there in the playoffs against a team he kind of struggled with in coverage last time. Great tackler. I'm not going to give up on him, but when I'm looking in the future, you know, now we know DeMar Hamlin's a gem. You know, we're hopefully bringing back Jordan Poyer. Hopefully Micah Hyde comes back next year. So I don't think Jaquan Johnson's going to be a piece on our defense next year. You know, hopefully we get I mean, again, we don't know DeMar's future. I'm not going to anticipate him playing, but I'm sure he's going to consider it just because I'm sure he wants to. But in the event that he doesn't, then he maybe you want to see what he is in a big spot. But I mean, again, D. Marlowe's better in coverage, and not a better tackler. Johnson's a great tackler, not the best in coverage yet. So I guess it's how they go about the game plan. Are they going to try to let them pass on them and then dedicate their time to stopping the run? Or are they going to do what we did last time where we dedicate our efforts and stopping the pass and let them run the ball on us? I guess it would depend on that situation, what they decide.
Right.
I'd be fine with Marlowe. I mean, I'd be fine with Johnson, but I think Marlowe is just because the veteran presence is a better option now. And that's why we brought him in. We brought him in for help, and we need it. So again, I don't think he's the best person in the world either. I don't think he's great, but I think this is why we brought him here. So let's use him.
I feel like we could have brought you or Jake in and done just as good a job as Marlowe. I mean,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Mike.
Come on. I mean, look, he had his shot. And we'll see. I'm going to give him another chance. Again, we won the game. That's all that's important. We'll see how he does this week against the Dolphins.
You're going to love my bold prediction for this week.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. I know it's getting late. We're past Brett's bedtime. We're getting close to Sean's bedtime, and Jake. It's late on the East Coast. It's still early for me. I'm good to go for another 2-3 hours, but I know it's late for you guys. So let's get into the game predictions. Finish this thing up. Game predictions, and throw out a couple bold predictions. I'll throw it to the young gun first, Mr. Brett McDurphy.
Gosh, love that you're throwing it to me first. My bold prediction for the game is Josh is going to throw for 5 touchdowns. And
okay,
I think it's just going to be a game where we're all clicking on all cylinders. I have a feeling, and this is my first bold prediction before the game even starts, that the person that's going to lead the charge for the Buffalo Bills this week will be DeMar Hamlin. And the electricity in Highmark Stadium is going to go off because you know how much energy he's going to bring to the city. So I really believe that he's just going to come out there and you're going to see a totally different side of the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be laser focused, ready for this game. So I say 5 touchdowns for Josh Allen. And I also say that there will be 3 interceptions, one of them for Tre'Davious White, one of them for Jordan Poyer, and then the other one is going to go to Dean Marlowe. So I'm going to throw it out there. I know we've talked a little bit of crap about him, but I think he's going to have an interception in this game, and he's going to hand the ball right to DeMar Hamlin while he's on the sideline.
Oh, that would be a great
So are
moment.
you saying DeMar Hamlin leads the Bills out of the tunnel?
I'm saying
right when the game starts?
Yeah, you know how
Before the
Shady
game starts?
McCoy, how Shady McCoy like hyped up the crowd and everything before
Yeah.
the game last week.
Yeah.
I'm saying DeMar's going to do it, and he's going to be the one that comes in there and is the legend of the game. So I'm feeling
that would
he's
be
going to be the
awesome.
quote unquote legend of the game because he is a legend. He's already a legend in Buffalo.
Absolute legend, man.
I cannot wait to see that if he does do it because it's going to be incredible, and I can't wait to watch that. But it hasn't been announced who's the legend of the game yet, which they normally announce like Tuesday or Wednesday. So
that is
I think something sneaky might be happening.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So what's your score prediction?
Score prediction for the game, I have the Bills winning this game 41-3.
Wow, holy moly.
A lot of points,
man.
A lot of points. I'm looking forward to tons of points, and I just think that the Bills are just going to outmatch the Miami Dolphins. And I have a bet going on with fellow YouTuber Dollar or Less Food, and I just want to see him have to wear a Bills jersey this week. So I'm looking forward to that. Even though the series is tied right now, we shook hands. We said he was going to do it after Buffalo beat him. And I said, you know what? Let's save it for the playoffs. I'll let you do it after the playoff game because I have a feeling we're going to see you in the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to seeing him have to wear a jersey this week.
Well, you should hang out with the Mafia King with that prediction. 40, and Mafia King saying 72 to 17, and you're saying what, 41-3 was it, or was it
41-3? Yep.
Wow, good stuff. I love it. Love it. Let me throw it to Sean for your score prediction and a couple bold predictions.
Well, I said last night 28-20, and that's with either quarterback going. I would love a blowout, trust me. I just think because it's the playoffs, because it's rivals, it's going to be a game that we don't want where it's super close. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have a blowout. I just think I'm leaning more towards it's going to be a close game. 28-20. Bold prediction is going to be on defense. Rousseau's going to have 2 sacks. Trey White will have an interception. And Matt Milano will have 4 tackles for loss.
Nice.
And then offensively,
that's a lot of TFLs. I love that.
Yeah.
And offensively, we're going to have Dawson Knox, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
And then Singletary is going to rush for 100 yards.
All right. I love that. I love that.
I don't know if that's bold, though, because I think
it's bold.
He could probably run 100 yards at any time, but I'll give that as a bold prediction.
All right. Jake, let me throw it to you. Your score prediction and your bold predictions.
Yeah. So the Dolphins without Tua have been averaging 16.8 points per game.
Yeah.
Last game they scored 11. I'm going to split it right down the middle. I think they score 14 points in this matchup. I don't think it's going to be a total blowout in terms of the score, but with the play on the field, I think the Bills put up 29 points to give us that 15-point victory that Miss Fins, what was it, Miss Fins?
Yep.
Was saying they'd lose by 15. I think we're going to win by 15. Then she changed her prediction, 35-32. I can't see the Dolphins putting up 32 points. Let's throw that right out the window. I think it's going to be 29-14 Bills, and no field goals are going to be kicked. I think on one of those touchdowns, we're going to go for 2. Just to add a little insult to injury. It's a rivalry game. We're in the playoffs. Let's have a little fun out there. DeMar is back. He's going to be leading the charge. Brett, I agree with you on that bold prediction. Absolutely love that. Part of me is a little nervous, though, like for him to even be on the field, like on the sidelines. Like I'm a little nervous, but we got to get through that because I think that's a moment that people are looking forward to. But you're also like, man, the last time this guy was on the field, like he collapsed. Like it's a terrible thing that happened. So I think we got to get over that for sure. I think obviously for him too, that's the only place he wants to be is on the football field. So, but that man, just to have his energy on the sidelines, like that is what a boost it would be for us. But I like 29-14 Bills. And I think we're going to ride this through, guys. I think it's going to be a total domination across the board. I'm going to say one of those touchdowns that the Dolphins score is going to be a garbage time touchdown. So it's going to be 29-7 going into the fourth quarter. They're going to score maybe a garbage time touchdown or something like that, and that'll be it. So I feel like for bold predictions, I got to go with my guy, Dean Marlowe, to get an interception. Not only an interception, he's going to take it to the house, Mike. 68 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know if he can even run that far without collapsing, but we'll see.
Don't say that.
That's a long. That's a long
I mean, he's
run.
only 30.
You're out.
You know?
You're out of shape. I'm just saying he's gonna just be gassed out by the time he gets down there.
Brutal. I think, I think Dean Marlowe is going to have himself a day. You know, just
right,
to add a little. I'm going to double down on Brett's prediction there a little bit. I'm going to add a little extra. He's going to have a pick 6, so that's going to be a bold prediction for me. And then I think on offense, we're going to have a 100-yard receiver. And it's not going to be Stephon Diggs. It's not going to be Gabe Davis. It's not going to be any of those guys. It's going to be Dawson Knox. He's going to have himself a hell of a day. Not only because he's on my playoff fantasy team, but because he's due. He scored touchdowns in 3 consecutive games. I think he's an absolute nightmare and a total mismatch for that defense. I love Landon Roberts. I love those guys that they have on defense, but I think for him, it's a chance for him to shine. You know, we can get him underneath. Anytime that guy catches the football, he wants to run someone over. So I'm going to see. I think we see a few angry runs out of Dawson Knox. He's going to be featured on Good Morning Football on Monday morning. It's going to be incredible. So I like him having over 100 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns.
Beautiful.
That's a good prediction.
I love it. Dean Marlowe, please watch the show. Please,
biggest Dean Marlowe fans you'll ever see.
Please prove me wrong and do what these young men are predicting that you're going to do. Return a 68-yarder for a touchdown. Get a pick 6. These guys believe in you. Prove to me. Prove it, buddy. Let's do it. I know he's going to catch the show because most of the Bills watch this show. We know this. 100% guaranteed. So with that said, one of my bold predictions is that Devin Singletary catches the show. He's super excited to know that I won the bet. He says, man, this guy believed in me. I'm going out on the field. I am going to drop over 100 total yards in this game. I'm not saying he's rushing. I'm not saying he's receiving. He's going to drop over 100 yards, and he's going to score a touchdown. Now, that may not be that bold, but for when you think about the Bills that normally don't get those numbers for running backs, he's going to go off, and he's going to be, when he gets in the end zone, he's going to pull something out, and it's going to have Jake on there. And so, Jake, don't ever doubt me. He's going to have, because all these players, they think through these things. He's going to pull that out, and it's going to say, Jake, don't ever doubt me again. Don't.
Love it.
So, love that.
Barbell on me.
Yeah, that's right.
Barbell on me.
Barbell on Jake.
I then, sticking with the running game, I also want to give some love to Mr. James Cook. He really had been coming on strong. I think he breaks one for the longest run of the season, whether it's a touchdown or not. It'll be over 50-yard run. He's going to break it. Might be for a touchdown, might not be, but I see that coming. And then for the score prediction, I think I said this on the show last night on Miss Finn's show. I might be off by a point or two, but I think the Bills put it all together. They win 34-20. And when I say put it all together, I mean, we really haven't talked about this in a few weeks, but it feels like for the longest time, the Bills just haven't had 4 quarters. They haven't put it together for 4 quarters. And for whatever reason that changes this game. They put together 4 good quarters and are able to win by double digits, maybe even rest some guys towards the end of the 4th quarter. So good stuff there. That's it from me. Not going to go too crazy with the 51-72 scores, but I love it.
We had a 74-0 prediction. So,
man, I'll tell you what, that's unbelievable. So let's close this. Let's wrap this up. It's been almost 2 hours. You guys get to bed. You need your beauty sleep for sure. Closing thoughts for you, Sean.
I just want to say thank you guys for having us on again. This is it's a family here, and I always love doing this. Got to do it every single week if we can. I know sometimes schedules conflict, but you guys know I'm always down. You don't even have to ask. Just say we're doing this, and I'll be there. But this is what it's all about,
guys.
What's that?
Brett may have lost some audio. We can hear you, Brett.
I think Brett lost some audio. So.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you too, Sean. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is what it's all about. This is what the offseason was about. This is what the first 17 weeks of the season were about. It's all coming down to this now. Yeah, the Dolphins are missing their starting quarterback. They're having some injuries on the offensive line, on their defense. But can't look past this team. And, yeah, we should win. So let's just go out and execute. We got to outcoach a rookie head coach, which we can, and we got to outplay a team that we're better than. And they're not a bad team. They're a very good team, but we're a better team. So let's play like it. Let's act like it. Let's remember what we're playing for, and let's remember that this is our window. They just started their window. We've been in ours. Yeah. This is our time now. And you gotta lay it all out there like it's your last time. So again, just thank you guys. I'm super excited for this game. I wish we were playing Saturday so we could just get it going so we could watch it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's going to be a great time. I appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody's support. We all appreciate that. And again, I love you guys and I appreciate you. So thank you.
Absolutely. We lost Brett.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to rejoin or not. It looks like he lost some audio, but I appreciate the hell out of you guys for joining and always being down for this. I mean, you guys, I know everyone's got busy schedules in their lives, and you guys have always been there, ready to go, always willing to come on the show. So we really do appreciate it. So we love having you guys. And I think it's going to be a great day on Sunday. Guys, I'm looking forward to the post game. Obviously, we're not going to take anything for granted. I feel good about this one. I really do. There's something going on in the city right now. I mean, the vibes are up. We might have Micah Hyde back for the divisional or AFC championship round if we make it there, barring we do. So it's just a great day. So I'm pretty pumped, and that's about all I got. I mean, I'm just ready to get to Sunday. Let's skip a few days ahead here.
I know, right? Brett, before we lose you again, just closing thoughts for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I had my headphones kick off, so I jumped off because I was trying to grab them real fast. But my closing thoughts, I'm really excited for this game, obviously. I appreciate you guys for having me on the show. I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited to have another playoff football game in Buffalo, and that should be something that happens every single year. So can't wait for the game. Can't wait for Buffalo to go out there and put together 4 good quarters of football where Sean doesn't have to be in the comments saying bad things about the Buffalo Bills. And we're not gonna have any problems this week. That's why I said the 41-3 prediction. So he can have some calm energy this week.
That'd be nice.
And then I can't wait for another week of football next week against whatever opponent we have. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I appreciate you guys for having me on. And as always, go Bills.
Thank you very much. I mean, can you imagine Rage on Bills and Sean in the channel if the Bills are doing bad?
Get them together in a room.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody can handle that.
Sean, I want to say thank you for joining us again. We appreciate you, and Brett. We love you guys. By the way, that yellow and that blue looking good. I really like it.
Yeah, I said, like
it does look good. It looks really good. And nobody sports the Josh Allen red like the young gun over here, Brett. And Jake, I appreciate you as always. And then
Josh
everyone
Allen
on the channel.
Jake.
Yeah. Josh Allen. And everyone out in the channel. We've seen a lot of new faces. And again, we're going live to all 3 channels. So please take a moment after this ends and go to Red, White, and Bills. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Go to the Go Bills podcast. Hit that subscribe button. And then, of course, come over to the Nickel City Mafia and hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate all of you. And I will see all you guys on the post-game show with a huge celebration party going on. Let's go, everyone. Take care.
Bills.
Go Bills.